The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
She's in the house, everybody.
That's
Our
right.
very favourite human being, Maggie Dent, whose sixth season of Parental as Anything podcast lands this week. Maggie, welcome.
Hi, guys.
Maggie, good morning.
Welcome back. It's so good to see you
Oh, my
again.
God, I miss you in the face. You know that stuff?
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are the best in the face.
Yeah. No, and I want to say, look, really, when they asked me to do I thought, well, you'll get one series out of it, hey.
Yeah.
Six.
Yeah, and
Look
I
out.
won a big award last year, but the ABC kept it.
Oh, really? What was the award?
I won the best parenting podcast in Australia at the Podcast
Oh,
Awards.
did you really?
And they
Yeah.
kept it.
Yeah, and they kept it in the building.
That's
So
pretty amazing,
My granddaughters
Maggie,
are really
because
pissed.
people usually gravitate towards celebrity podcasts.
Yes,
No, but
yes.
seriously, and like...
Celebrities have kids too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But for you to beat
There are,
them...
and there are celebrities that have parenting podcasts, but
Yeah.
you beat them.
I did. Yeah, so that was kind of... I was a bit chuffed. I thought, that little girl from the bush and wandering...
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that liked the ABC radio, there
Yeah.
she was.
Yeah.
I know.
There were lots of people there that clapped.
Look at her.
It was
Yeah.
lovely.
Just out.
You know what?
Catching
We've been doing
rabbits.
this for 20 years.
Yeah.
The two have, and
Yeah.
me a bit. Nothing.
We've never won an award.
Not a thing.
Nothing.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Does that surprise you that we've never
Oh,
won an
staggered.
award? No.
Staggered.
It looks like
Isn't
you.
it just being best all the time an award?
We would know.
Say it with a trophy. Maggie, the hot thing in Perth at the moment
Yeah.
is kids going crazy for this energy drink Prime. Now, when kids do get really obsessed with something, we hear stories of kids ducking off from school for 3 hours to go to the supermarket to get a drink. What's your advice to parents who are in the thick of this right now?
Oh, God, that's exactly what that's what we're wired up to do, is to do what my friends and my mates are doing. And as soon as it's a thing, it's a lot like what happened, during the lockdowns and TikTok dances became the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the latest thing other than vaping. And
So do you just write it out?
Yeah, look, honest to God, it's got so much caffeine in it. You're going to have a really wired-up kid. So let's hope that it doesn't taste very good. That's what I'm kind of getting some
Yeah.
feedback from.
Well, the
some.
caffeine ones aren't being sold here in Australia, so
But
these are the electrolyte
so these are just
ones.
Just sugar.
electrolyte ones. Oh, they're just... Seriously, they'll go through it and it's a phase.
Yes.
Just relax. Just keep making really good quality stuff at home and let's hope Milo wins out,
So so parents who are in the car right now, because this
Yeah.
is the time we were
Yeah.
talking about yesterday,
Yeah.
are driving their kids to Woolies
Yeah.
for the shutters to open. Is that okay, or do you just need to go,
Seriously?
look, don't worry about
Look,
it?
you can do either. Whatever energy you have, because they're going to nag the heck out of you. I want to have tasted it. I want to be part of it, because that's everything they're talking about right now. And if we ride it, it's not going to be lethal.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have driven my boys. I would have made them walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
you know
think
what,
you need
though?
to put out a bit of your own energy if you want, and I don't pay them much money, so you got to.
Out of all the kids' wish list, though, to get the whole set for $25
I know,
is not too bad,
Pretty
is it?
good, isn't it?
Yeah, but then they're on selling because they're
Yes.
really smart
Yeah,
on
they're
eBay.
amazing.
Well, that's
So it's-
entrepreneurial.
Yes.
So
Today's entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I don't have a really big issue with it because
Yeah.
I look at the things that really are going to cause harm.
And that's not up there.
No, it's not up
I
there.
guess the best thing to do is for parents to get really into it, because nothing makes something uncool to kids than their parents really being into it. Is
So
that,
you're
is that
wearing your
accurate?
prime
Yes.
prime t-shirts and your prime hoodie.
Would you recommend that, Maggie?
Oh, shame. It's absolutely fantastic. It's the best way out. And also, like if it's in the fridge at home, God, you've got home and it's gone because I drank it.
Yeah.
The fact it went down the sink, you're not going to know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I loved it. I drank it. Oh, yeah.
I still
It's a good
think
idea.
that we were talking about it yesterday, how he shouldn't even put liquid in the bottle. He should just sell the empty bottle
Yeah.
and save heaps of money on manufacturing, because that's all they want is the bottle.
It is.
That's all they want is the
Literally,
bottle.
it's the label, Nathan.
Yes.
They could just manufacture
Just
the labels.
label. Yeah. Hey, 13 24 10, if anyone wants any help from Maggie at all
About
with
anything.
to do with your children, give us a call.
Well, Maggie, before we get to
Oh,
the
here goes
callers,
Sean.
I just want to ask you. Well, no, it's one
Yeah.
thing, and it's in your
Yeah.
podcast. Is
Yeah.
vaping? It's
Yeah.
full on in
Yes.
schools these days. You see all the kids doing it because
Yeah.
they think it's cool.
Yeah.
There's a tasting to them. Some of them.
Yeah, so they say, they're fruity, so
Where do you sit
palatable.
on that?
Oh, for goodness sake, what the main design of the person who created it was to help him get off 3 packets of cigarettes
Yes.
a day, right? That was the whole notion of creating the vape. So then we have these absolutely unscrupulous humans who decide that, wow, let's market it to kids.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make us a lot of money. And I think that's the place I want kids to listen to and say, you are being used.
Yeah, okay.
They don't
Yep.
give a toss whether
Yeah.
you get sick or it's not good for you. They are wanting your money and they're getting it. right? That we need to be angry and in uproar about it. Now, the good news is it's kind of like, when I did the interview with Paul Dillon, who's the most amazing human, also West Aussie, former West Aussie teacher. We are good mates. We crossed the border. We're both
He's
over
a
there.
drug educator, isn't he?
And he's such a good guy because he's a bit like me, a bit common sense. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to give you the information. So at the moment, the research is saying 1 in 10 of our year 11s and 12s are vaping regularly.
Yeah.
And 1 in 20 of our 8, 9, 10s. But we do know that many of them are chuffing off the same one in our school, in our school spaces, out behind the shed where they used
in
to
the toilets,
in the toilets. And so schools are really floundering around how to deal with this because it's hard to catch them.
Yeah, they put them in their sleeve and they,
you can't search.
No, you can't.
No,
Right?
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't leave the same odour that a cigarette does.
Yes.
And I know the school that was going to put a camera in to just double check who's gone in when the cloud comes up.
Yeah.
And of course that's a civil rights thing.
Yes.
Parents are upset about it. So I think we've got to get on the same page. That it is not regulated, and that when it says it has no caffeine, well, I don't say anything on them. It often does. So it's the nicotine that's in it that really is incredibly dangerous for particularly children. But when you don't know how much they're getting, that's a serious worry.
Just so socially acceptable. Whenever you go out anywhere and out, people are outside and they're all talking about their vapes, comparing their vapes. And I always talk about how it smells like you're walking through a field of unicorn farts.
Yeah.
Just different watermelon, cookies and cream, vanilla. You know what I mean?
Never heard of unicorn.
So that there in itself. It's sort of it seems to take the danger, which is smoking,
genius
away.
marketing.
Yes.
And we were on a party bus during our staff Christmas party, and it was so funny because the speech to goal was no drinking on the bus, no this, no that, but you can vape. And I was like, wow.
And Nathan was like, man, where do I put the bong? Because that was going to be the next hour or so. This is rubbish.
But it was acceptable.
Right.
Nothing else is acceptable.
Yeah. And I think that message, that it's safer than smoking.
Yes.
That's the one that they've jumped onto.
Yeah.
But, I love it that Paul Dillon says on the podcast, he says, what's safer getting hit by a car than a bus? But at the end of the day, neither of them the option you want.
It's not safe. It's just marginally safer than smoking.
Yeah.
And
it's
also,
just a relative.
people are really proud about the vapes they've got. The machines. I've got this machine, I've got that, I've got a little pocket one, I've got one that got chambers.
So what I saw around Sydney not long ago, I was actually doing some work because I kind of stay in Sydney when I'm doing the work at the ABC. I walked around these buildings and smoko is a thing again now.
Yes.
I hadn't seen people gathering outside, chatting around, having cigarettes for so many years. Now they're all outside chuffing.
Yes.
I can say with the last
remember that?
the last 5 years, the last 5 or so years, we only had one smoker that would go out and smoke, and he'd end up stopping.
Then we had a whole gang when we
when we first started here. There was a gang of people, and then slowly it just whittled away.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you need help from Maggie about anything to do with your child or perhaps your parenting style, give us a call.
Maggie Dent is in the house and she is here to help. Matt from Dayton's called in. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, team. How are we?
Good,
Wonderful,
Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Now,
what's happening?
What sort of help do you need from Maggie?
So my son is a little bit under 2 years old, so we're starting to enter the terrible twos with tantruming. Something that I've noticed, that my wife and I have noticed, is he will launch his head backwards and forwards into walls and the floor with quite a lot of velocity. And so, thankfully, he's already proven he's got a bit of a hard head. But we're just a little bit concerned about
His head.
is there a way that we can be sort of combating that and trying to support him not
Other than a helmet.
losing any brain cells?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, Matt, this is a really common thing. And you've got a little boy there and you know that physicality, they often get so frustrated as toddlers because they don't often have words to describe things and their big feelings come out through their body movements. So now you've identified this, you've just got to kind of be like a CSI detective and keep tuning into when it looks like he's going to lose his you-know-what. So that you're nearby, because what he's got is this is just now his immediate impulse is to go into throwing backwards, whereas others, run out on a road, others bang their head forwards, others just punch and kick and bite and scratch.
God,
So
how many
this
parents are walking around with split lips? From
No,
this?
look, seriously, this is a really volatile window and it's hard for them as well as the parents.
Yeah.
So I just think I'd have an awful lot of cushions around your house.
Oh.
Awful lot of cushions.
Just
Your
soft
house will be
wall.
right, Sean.
But also, be ready for that movement because, like I said, he will gradually. I would probably encourage him to do a lot more screaming. I know it sounds probably don't want it that, but teach him how to really scream out that big cortisol out of the body, and he will move through that phase, and he'll move into another one, probably kicking. So, yeah, like I said, totally normal, totally impulse. He's not planning it; it's just happening, and that's often what happens with our toddlers. They're just not coping with their world at that point.
Matt, would you rather head butting or kicking?
We get a bit of kicking as well.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm just concerned about the loss of brain cells.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, you're right. But they do have... There's another thing about when they're bumping into things, like with their head and their legs and things, they're actually working out where their head finishes, like proprioceptive awareness. So he's going to actually probably not have as many incidents with bumping with his head later because he's already worked it out.
Oh, that's good news.
He's working out where his head finishes.
Yeah, no, it's called proprioceptive awareness. That's why they often bruise themselves and fall over. So he's sorting out his head.
His boundaries.
Around his head.
There's your silver lining, Matt.
What about a sombrero? There you go. And then, because that'll, that's
a helmet would be great, but you can't get
it's
it
like
on.
social distancing for his own head.
A pool noodle around his head.
Yeah, good luck. Because it happens so spontaneously. You get the wrong colour cup out and it's done.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
Thanks, Matt.
Good luck, Matt.
Let's go to Ali in Mount Hawthorn. Hi, Ali.
Hey, how you going?
Good, Ali.
Here's Maggie. What's your question?
Hey, Maggie. I've got a 4-year-old boy, and he is really not liking going to kindy at the moment. He's making it really difficult with drop-off. He cries and he screams and he pulls and just makes it really, really hard. I know he's going through a huge emotional development thing. I've read all of your posts. But looking for some advice.
So, when's his birthday? If he's at kindy and he's 4, that means he must be late in the year. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's October.
Righto, yeah. So you do know that, a 4-year-old boy is biologically wired just to run around and be really feral and not have to sit on mats and, not have to try and listen to people and not shove his mate on the floor and hold his penis and then he probably got a poo that's due. There's a lot of stress.
This sounds like Sean coming to work.
Yeah, there's a lot happening for your little 4-year-old again that I keep on saying. Sometimes
Sean, let go of your penis.
They often need a little more time. But in that space, I want you to... The things that make them feel safer, it can often... that connection to the main, educator. Does he like his educator? Does he speak about her or him in a positive way? No.
Sort of.
Yeah. No, it's not.
You would know.
Yeah,
it's emotional.
one of them, yeah.
So the one that's safest, please have a chat to them and just say, look, it's not going so good. Can you make a bit more of that smile when you see him, high five him, high punch him on the arm and make a bit more of a connection because we know that when relational safety, particularly for boys who don't always have good words and who struggle to cope with all the other rules, if they've got one growing up whose face lights up, it lowers their stress levels so much that they might like it. And the second thing is, does he have a little mate or do he have a couple of friends? Because the friendship issue, that can make up for the fact that he still struggles to do the things that is required of him. And I've got an audio if he's not good at that too. It's called I'm a Good Friend. So that actually teaches them how to say hello and how to play and how to wait sometimes and not lose it. So, you're absolutely right. He's 4 and it's not his favourite place. He'd prefer to be home. Really?
Yeah.
Hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good luck, Ali. Thank you.
That's easier when the kid loves their teacher.
Yeah, that's right.
Though, isn't it?
And loves going to school.
Particularly.
Yeah. Amy, actually, you were telling us that Charlotte, when she went to school this year, and James, they're just in love with their teacher.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, it makes such a big difference because they're excited to tell them what's happening at home and vice versa.
Yeah. You wait till I use them. No, that they say, and you're wrong. That's lovely. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Further,
Mrs. McGill said so.
Yeah. You're an expert in their life now.
Well, that must be truth.
All right, Clark's in Willerton. Good morning, Clark.
Good morning, team. How are you?
Hey, wonderful, Clark.
Now, what's your issue for Maggie?
I have a beautiful young daughter, 6.5 years old, that in the mornings does not want to get ready. She's very, very slow, stands in her room, 10, 15 minutes and puts one shoe on. And
You're the only one, Clark, the only one.
Yeah. I know, I'm the only one, exactly. It's amazing in the mornings. But, just really would love to know a little process to speed it up.
Cattle prod, my dad would say.
I love it because it's actually quite a lived experience. I've just spent a week down south with my 6.5-year-old granddaughter and we had a few mornings like that. So at the end of the day, the more we want to hurry them up, the more they push back. So the more you want to go, right? Yeah. So sometimes we just chopped it around a little bit. Like sometimes we did the 20-second. I wonder if you can get dressed in 20 seconds. Hey, let's count down. Mind you, you get down to 1 3/4, 1.25, 1 point. Yeah, right.
0.1.
Yeah, all of that, and all you basically. What is it? Tiny, leany bit of incentivizing. So I hate over rewarding. But we might say, look, for my particular granddaughter, she loves a word sleuth at the moment. So what happens is if you get ready quick, we're going to do one, right? So she would get dressed because we could actually spend a bit more connected time, one-on-one time. So you've got to recognise what is it she really would love from you or your partner as she's getting ready to go off to big school. Because dressing up and getting dressed is boring, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, you might also get your clothes down and you get dressed at the same time so you can get dressed whatever. What else can I do afterwards? But please don't do sticker chart. That sucks.
You're talking about rewarding. So you want to lay off rewarding.
Incentivising.
Yeah. What
So
about
bribing.
Yeah. But what about the opposite of a rewarding? Like saying, like
punishing.
No, we'll have that Barbie doll with the scissors to her neck.
No, see that.
Great idea. Don't.
No. Seriously.
No. Why?
Okay,
Why?
so let's go to that point that says if I'm going to actually give you the opposite, so I'm going to punish you if you don't get dressed. I can guarantee this will last till she's 17.
Really?
Yeah,
'cause
right.
It's not
And
going
how
to
many
improve behaviour.
decapitated Barbies will you have to go through?
And how much more do you replace them with?
Like
So
a
it's the
serial
old
killer.
school that says let's punish the behaviour we don't want.
Okay.
Yes.
But
Rather than rewarding the one you
but
do.
it's actually that was done on rats.
Yeah.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we're still stuck there. So
Yeah.
this beautiful, loving dad, the fact he's called up again, I want you to also say to her, I know it's hard to get dressed some days for school. I really get that. It sucks, eh? And then just pause for a bit because that means she's actually been heard and girls love being heard, right? But if you get, like if we get this done, right, then we could do something because we've got more time on the way. We might even go and have a swing on the swing or spend a bit more time when we get to school with your friends.
Or take her out for a coffee.
Yeah, go out for a baby chino. Like I said, at the end of the day, validate it.
Yes.
There are days we don't want to get dressed and go to work. Yeah. But we've still got to go. And I think that will really help. So
there you go. Well, we have to come to work because we signed a contract. Get her to sign a contract with a media conglomerate.
Yes.
And then she'll go to work.
And then she'll have to turn up. But
she'll
you're
go to
obviously going to have to pay her.
Clark, thank you, Clark.
Good luck.
Clark.
Thanks, guys.
What a gorgeous
By the way,
dad. What a gorgeous
Don't
dad.
see the name Clark enough these days.
it's true.
I like it.
Just love it.
Maggie, we got some books to give away to our callers that
Oh,
got
do
through
we?
as well.
Yes. So everyone we just spoke to, okay, thanks Siri, is getting Parental as Anything, a common sense guide to raising happy, healthy kids from toddlers to twins by Maggie Dent.
It's so good because it's got all those topics
Siri going on?
that you really need to,
Yes.
when
Yes.
they come out and ask you that question about, sex and you went, well, I don't know how to do that one.
Yeah.
How do I...
But I'll give it a go.
how do I discipline my kid without really damaging them? Like what is kind of anxiety in kids? When do I worry? All those ones. It's a bit like a guide on the side. When you get stuck, you go in and go, what that one's about.
It's a bit weird though. Chapter 8, how to decapitate Barbie.
No.
You just shot it down, so that's actually quite weird.
It's got a WA flavour to it because remember I flew back. First time I was allowed to, I got locked up for 2 weeks.
Yes.
I basically spent the whole 2 weeks working 8 or 9 hours a day putting this together from the transcripts.
You used your quarantine time?
Yeah, I used my quarantine time really productively.
Wow.
I hate being
You're
locked
the
up.
first one.
Yeah, I did. I wrote a book.
Congratulations.
So it's a really, there you go. That's what you can do when you're locked up for 2 weeks.
And Parental as Anything's the name of your podcast as well. 6th season lands this
we've
week.
got some biggies.
Yeah.
We've got some biggies
You
in
answered
there.
really
Dyslexia,
great questions
parental
too.
burnout. Oh, yeah.
Things like...
Help me, Maggie.
Yeah. How do I make sure my kid isn't racist? That's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
My chatterbox kid is driving me mad.
Yeah,
There's
what
so
about
many.
my little angry potty mouth one? That one, I love it that dads are asking questions now.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
brilliant.
it.
Toxic friends too, which is interesting.
Yeah. So the
We
big
all have
issues.
some.
Maggie Dent.
Thanks,
You
Maggie.
are our
Thanks,
favourite.
Maggie.
You're welcome back anytime.
Thanks for my birthday.
Happy birthday for yesterday. It's always a joy.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.